year is 2025, and you've just finished your 97th 13 episode show in a row. You could just watch season 2, but it's annoying having to watch with one hand. You want something fresh, something new, something that will last. And after only finding one of those, you decide to finally bite the bullet and succumb to the pressures of the One Piece loser fans across the internet. I am you. No, wait. I am who that story was about. Most of it at least. Now, if you've heard anything about anime, you've heard about One Piece. It's one of the big 3 anime alongside... Wait, no Dragon Ball? As one of the big 3 anime, One Piece is arguably the second most popular, and I'm not biased at all. One Piece, however, is most notably known for being the longest running anime. Huh? Okay. Anime with the most episodes. Ugh. Most popular out of the longest running animes? Ugh. As of me writing the script, One Piece has 1,107 episodes and counting. If you count every episode as 20 minutes, that's 22,140 minutes, or 369 hours, or about 15 and a half days straight of episodes. And that doesn't even take into account the 15 movies. Whereas this is one of One Piece's strongest attributes, it's also one that deters many possible future fans away due to the daunting nature of those big numbers. Many people don't want to be stuck watching the same show, no matter how good some people might say it is, for possibly years. You'd have to watch just over 3 episodes a day to catch up within a year, and even by that time, more episodes will have been released. While I can't speak for everyone, this has been the reason I've avoided One Piece for all these years. However, now that it's 2024, halfway through 2024, I decided to turn over a new leaf and waste my life away watching episode after episode of the same show. Now, before ever watching One Piece, I had so many questions. Who is Luffy? Sorry. What does the term One Piece even mean? Who the hell is and why is Netflix telling me that he's dead? To finally itch my scratch of curiosity, or whatever, I finally cracked. Now, starting One Piece isn't like any other show. With One Piece, you have to have a plan. Are you going to watch every episode? Are you going to skip the filler? Are you going to use resources such as One Piece to cut down the episodes even more? Now, originally here in my script, I had a 90-second rant about Naruto filler and how bad filler can be a detriment to a show. But to save both of our time and my animation sanity, I'll just say Naruto Iron Man, Ninja Ostrich, Naruto and Guy Sensei on mushrooms. Yeah, the filler killed the world building of the show. Whereas there is no right or wrong when it comes to deciding to watch the filler or not, I'm going to be watching every episode, filler included. Whoa, don't worry. There's a reason why I'm doing this. Unlike Naruto, One Piece only has about 8% filler. As I'm writing this, on about episode 150, the filler I've seen has been good. It's been related to the story, even builds upon the characters in meaningful ways. If it wasn't for the internet, I wouldn't even notice that these were filler. Filler aside though, many people complain about the pace of One Piece, and that even the canon stuff can drag on, leading to many people dropping the show. What I will be doing, however, is using the playback speed button. Yep, if I ever feel like the show is dragging on, I'll just go down here, click 1.5, and boom, now I can get through this part 50% faster. You might be worried about it being off-putting hearing the characters talk at 150% speed, but it's actually the opposite. I got used to it really quickly. At the start, I would only go up to 1.25 times speed, but when I hit my first batch of filler episodes, I put the speed on 1.5x and I never looked back. But now when I listen at normal speed, it just sounds like the characters are talking in slow motion. This also applies to the theme songs, and if I ever want to listen on YouTube, I have to put the video at 1.5x speed so it sounds normal. Now with my plan figured out, I dove right into One Piece. At first, I took it slow. I didn't only watch One Piece. One of my biggest worries was missing out on other shows, and that would lead to me possibly dropping One Piece. So I watched other stuff alongside it, watching episodes here and there and then switching off. As I said before though, I also watched it fast. Using my playback speed button, the skip intro button, and the next episode button, I was still able to get past many episodes, and thankfully, I enjoyed One Piece right away. I didn't have to sit through episodes hoping I'd start liking them eventually. Now when I'm watching shows, I usually like to be doing something else, typically eating lunch or dinner. I run a lot too, so I get a lot of my watching done while I'm stretching. Making sure I'm productive while watching shows helps me to not feel like I'm wasting time, which would be another reason I could drop a show. Now another roadblock that might hold people back from picking up One Piece is the visual quality. Given that the show started in 1999, the quality of the original episodes is not nearly to the standard we see today. Whereas I thought this would be a problem to my poor eyeballs who have been accustomed to the insane animations on high definitions that we have today, it was actually really easy to get used to, and it's not a worry at all. In fact, I've gotten so used to it that when I see the teasers for the movies in high definition that pop up on Netflix, it looks weird and off-putting. What? Hello? Ah! Hello guys, I'm back. Don't worry. After begging last time, I've been banned from saying a few certain words. I'm just here to give a disclaimer, that being there will be no major spoilers.
There's probably a few minor spoilers, but nothing that would take away from your viewing experience by knowing. Also, subscribe. Leave a like. Even a comment. There he is. Get him.
I could use a donut right now. Sorry about that. Now where was I? Right. So when I originally wrote that script in early June, I had just finished the Alabasta arc at about episode 130. After wiping my tears trying to get over Usopp's death. I'm kidding, I said no spoilers. However now, at the beginning of July as I'm writing this, I'm halfway through the Enies Lobby arc at about episode 280, which means I've watched a lot of One Piece, and I've enjoyed it the whole time. Most of the time. Now I'm no professional when it comes to reviewing things, so bear with me here. What I want to start with, however, is the characters. Despite how important they are, characters are never easy to do right. As the face of their respective shows, characters often can become more recognizable than the series they're from. There are probably more people out there who know Goku, yet not Dragon Ball, Killua, but not Hunter x Hunter, Sonic, but not Wait, you get the point. Not having well-written characters can turn away many possible future fans. Look at Demon Slayer, for example. Despite being critically acclaimed for its animation, it still gets a lot of flack for the one-dimensionalistism of its characters. Look at other shows. If you don't have a good story, characters, animation, or anything else, you end up with Black Clover. Now, small tangent aside, I personally believe One Piece does its characters very well. No character is like another, all have unique backstories, motivations, personalities, and they don't even always get along. Now also back in the original version of my script, I went over every character and gave an overview of them, including information about them as a character, what I liked and what I didn't like, and how I felt they added or subtracted from the show as a whole. However, I feel like going over each character in detail defeats the point of this video, which is letting you know if I think you should go watch One Piece for yourself. If you want in-depth knowledge about the characters, then just go watch it. What I did instead was cut a lot of the background information and throw together a crude ranking of the characters based on how much I like them, from least to most, along with a brief reasoning as to why. While they may have their flaws, I find them all likable, unlike characters from other shows.
Also, I didn't know what to put on screen when announcing the characters, so enjoy my purposefully horrible drawings of each one in between.
Brooks and Frankie. Despite Frankie being a part of the arc I'm watching right now, both are not a part of the Straw Hats by the episode I'm at, so I'm not counting either of them. Nami. Navi is the navigator of the Straw Hats. As I said before, I don't dislike any of these characters. I like Nami. She just ranks last against the other Straw Hats. Nami's whole shtick is that she's greedy, for a very spoiler-specific reason. Yet when that reason is resolved, she's still just as greedy. It's used in comedic ways, but she's often willing to put her crewmates at risk if it means she can get treasure. She has a lot of good qualities, like being cunning, being funny, being good at her navigation job, and a lot more again that I won't go into detail here, but this is just why she's ranked low. Chopper. Chopper is the doctor of the Straw Hats. He's cute, he has a heartwarming backstory, but Chopper's just a little bit whiny. He can get buff as hell and pummel enemies, yet he acts like Usopp most of the time, being scared of most of them as if he's helpless. I get that he's basically a child though, so I don't really hold this against him. What I don't like, however, is that he has to rely on PEDs to beat the tougher opponents. Chopper will always step up when needed though, and again, I like him, just not more than anyone other than Nami.
Robin.
Robin's backstory is one of the biggest mysteries of One Piece that spans across multiple arcs. She's pretty quiet and reserved, so her personality doesn't stand out as much as the other Straw Hats. Her personal goal of archaeology isn't as cool as some of the others, but it's a lot better than I want money. There's this scene where Robin yells at the Straw Hats that she wants to stay with them, and she's crying and yelling across the bridge, and I really like that scene. And again, like the characters mentioned before, Robin has a lot of good qualities, but for time's sake I just won't go into detail about them. Sanji. Sanji is the cook of the Straw Hat crew. His big shtick is being in love with every woman he's ever seen. It can be funny at times, but it can also be taken too far, to the point of it being annoying, as he yells at the other crew just to turn around with hearts in his eyes and do whatever Nami or Robin tell him to do. Despite these negatives, Sanji is just a cool character. He only fights with kicks because his hands are for cooking, and he's world class at what he does. Luffy. As you all know, Luffy is the captain of the Straw Hats. He's a pretty typical shonen anime protagonist. He's slightly dumb, he's always hungry, he fights for his friends, for his dreams, and for what is just. His character I think is done pretty well though. Unlike some other shonen protagonists, that isn't all that Luffy is. And I still believe he's a great representation on how even if a character archetype is overused, it can still be built upon, made unique, and done well. Zoro. Now Zoro is the swordsman of the Straw Hats, and easily the coolest. Just like Luffy and Sanji, he's crazy strong. I like that Zoro is always thinking in a fight. How rational those thoughts might or might not be, I can't tell you. Like him trying to cut his own feet off to escape a wax cake, only to make it halfway through and end up with scars across his ankles. But I just really like him. Usopp. And here is the big shocker. Yes, Usopp is my favorite character in One Piece. Now, where do I start with Usopp? Usopp is the sniper of the Straw Hats. Usopp is a liar. He lies to make himself look good to others. Usopp is a coward. He will do his best to avoid conflict and let one of the stronger ones take the fight. However, most importantly of all, Usopp is human. Usopp is closest to what it'd be like if you or I were on the Straw Hat ship. Usopp left his home and the people he cared about and those who cared about him like the others did. But unlike the others' goals to become king of the pirates, or the best swordsman, or whatever else, Usopp's goal isn't to be better than others. Usopp doesn't want to be the king. Usopp's goal is to be brave, to be strong, to be the best version of himself. When I started talking about Usopp, I said he was a coward. While yes, this is still true, if needed, Usopp can step up and be courageous, if it means saving the crew. I won't go into detail as to avoid spoilers, but he puts himself in direct target of the main enemy to help Luffy in the Enies Lobby arc, which you probably remember that scene if you've seen the show. Again, as I've been working on this video while still watching One Piece, it means there's always new things I want to say. So for one last time, I'm going to change the script. Originally here, I gave the summary of an episode, and that episode did a really good job of showing off Usopp's best personality traits. However, giving a summary of an episode is like the opposite of what I said I was going to do. So all I'm going to say is I highly suggest you go watch episode 134. Now sticking with the concept of characters, one thing I really like about One Piece is the interpersonal relationships amongst the crew. Not everyone gets along all the time. Zoro gets annoyed at Sanji's buffoonery over the women of the ship. He makes a sly comment only for Sanji to hear and they start bickering. Despite this, as I said in basically every character's section, they're able to put their differences aside and work together. In fact, in the arc I'm watching right now in the show, Usopp isn't even a part of the crew, due to a conflict amongst the Straw Hats that I won't spoil. Don't worry though, he's still present in the show, just through his alter ego. One thing I really love is the mother-child relationship between Robin and Chopper. At first, Chopper was scared of Robin. When he was left on the ship as lookout, he was afraid to be in the same room as Robin. However, as they grew closer, Robin has kind of become a mother figure to Chopper. She asks him if he would like to go to the bookstore and walks with him through town holding his hand. And it's just really cute. I mean, cool. I also don't know where to put this, but just to throw it in there, the show is actually really funny. Throughout my time watching, there were many times I would rewind, as some jokes caught me so off guard I wanted to watch them again. There's one joke where Zoro gets called a henchman, and Sanji laughs at him, only for Zoro to call Sanji Pirate A because he didn't even get recognized. And lastly in this section I wanted to say, I love that the show is not afraid to introduce characters late into the show. Again, I'm almost 300 episodes in, and I just found out who Franky was. It's not like the writers just decided to throw characters in either. Luffy has been talking about getting a musician for the Straw Hats for like hundreds of episodes now, and it still hasn't happened, and it probably won't for like 100 more. But lastly is the story. Now I'm going to keep this last part brief, as this video is way too long. Again, I pray for my sanity during editing when I have to go through and do all these lip flaps. As this review is major spoiler free, there isn't much I want to say other than, yeah, the story is really good. I've watched a decent amount of major and minor arcs at this point, and none have made me want to slow down or stop watching the show. When I told one of my friends I was watching a show with over 1,100 episodes, he asked me how I wouldn't get bored watching the same thing for that long. But as I explained to him, different arcs are what shake things up and keep the story fresh. All are unique and have their own villains with different powers, different environments, different situations, and you never feel like you're just watching the same thing over and over again. Again, as I don't want to spoil, there really isn't much more I want to say about the story. Oh, yeah, except this. Foxy the Pirate sucks, and his arc sucks. It was good at first, but they extend the game for no reason and it quickly became old. Luffy helps Foxy multiple times, and yet every single time Foxy tries to backstab him, to the point of it just being sad. Foxy is just super annoying and easily the worst character in One Piece. His arc is also easily the worst. It's a filler arc, however, so I won't really hold it against the show. And now to answer the question of this video. Should you watch One Piece? No. Whoa, of course, I'm kidding. Yes. If you've been on the fence about watching One Piece, I think at minimum you should give it a try. That's what I did, and look at me now. If One Piece doesn't intrigue you though, don't watch it. This isn't a show you can just power through if you don't like. Honestly, if you don't like the first 10 or so episodes, you probably won't like the next 1100. If you spent years knowing about One Piece, but never wanting to give it a shot like I did, use this video as a final push. Go watch it. One Piece doesn't have to be the only thing you watch, and you don't have to worry about it taking up all your time. You can watch it at your pace. Thank you all for watching. Send this video to every person you know, or the ghost of the guy Netflix claims is dead will haunt you forever. And as that guy who's now incarcerated said, subscribe, leave a like, Comment. I love reading through them and responding to the comments, so let me know what you think. I'm sorry this video took so long, but hey, it's here now. Time to go work on the next one. Also, shout out to this guy for giving me some motivation to get working on this one again. If you're watching this months after it's come out and I haven't made another one, just comment. Now go watch one of these two videos. Bye bye.